What is up guys, my name is Benji and welcome back to another video. Today I have a different video from usual. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a cinemagraph. Now, I know what you're probably wondering, Benji, what the heck is a cinemagraph? Cinemagraph is something like this. It's basically a still image with one part of the image that's actually moving. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do it. Full disclosure, I learned this from another YouTuber. I didn't make this up. Peter McKinnon, which you can check out his video in the description below. But without any further ado, let's show you guys how to make a cinemagraph. Roll the intro. Okay, so to make a cinemagraph, this is divided into two parts. The first one is, of course, the shooting, and then there's the editing. So let's start off with the shooting part. So you will need a couple of things. Number one, you will need a tripod to hold a camera onto because you want to have the frame be as still as you can. So we'll need that, and of course you will need a camera. This could be any camera. This can also be your smartphone, believe it or not. Just make sure you have a good camera that will not be too overexposed or anything, because you want this cinemagraph to look nice, don't you? Okay, so once you have the camera and the tripod out of the way, or the phone and the tripod, you then will need the tools to actually make a cinemagraph. Now for this specific cinemagraph, I'll be using a smoke pellet. So of course you'll need a smoke pellet, you'll need something to hold it in. This is literally a polymorph, which is a kind of plastic that you can actually mold. This is like a polymorph ball that I made at home. I'll try to find a video on polymorph and I'll link it in the description below. Then you will of course need a lighter, because you will need to light up the smoke bombs, smoke pellets, whatever you want to call them. I'll actually link these as well in the description below. And of course you can do it with anything else. You can do it with hairspray. I've done that before. You can do it literally with water. We've done that as well. So yeah, I guess that's what you need. Let's get on to the actual shooting of the cinemagraph. Okay, so now we have the camera with the tripod set up, as you can see here. I'm gonna frame myself up here with, of course, the lighter, which I'm gonna throw out of frame as soon as this thing lights up, because this actually lights up and it burns quite well. Okay, so now we've got the camera all framed up and everything, we can actually start this thing from burning. Okay, the camera's recording. So I'm gonna actually hold out the smoke pellet here, and then I'm gonna actually roll my sleeve up a little because I don't want to burn myself. I'm gonna move a little here. Actually, we need to. Okay, so we're gonna start this thing from burning. Please don't burn my hands. There we go. And then once this thing starts burning, you want to actually be as still as possible, because that is what you're gonna be using later on for this cinemagraph. Okay, so now it's burning. Now we want to actually frame ourselves up properly. And then here's a cinemagraph. Just stay as still as possible.
2,000 years later.
Okay, so as you can see, the thing stopped burning now. Okay, so once you've done that, you can stop the camera from recording. Basically, how the cinemagraph works is you're actually going to be taking a video and then taking a still from that video, and that's going to be like your still image, and then you just take the video and you choose which moving part you want, and I'll show you guys later in Photoshop how it works. So the thing's now all burnt out, we can throw it away now. One thing to note, actually, when you do use a smoke pellet, make sure you don't have anyone around you, because you don't want to like get into trouble or anything. Also, don't use a glass thing to hold the smoke pellet in. That we tried that, and actually roll the clip of what happened. Yeah, it wasn't very good. So make sure you have something that won't burn your hand and also will let the thing burn. So don't hold the pellet in your hand, just don't, because that'll kill you or something. But yeah, so that is the cinemagraph shot. Now I guess we can just jump into Photoshop and show you guys how to make this cinemagraph a cinemagraph. Okay, so now that we're home in front of the computer, let me show you guys how to edit your cinemagraph. So you will want to use Photoshop. Yes, Photoshop, you can actually edit video in Photoshop. I was surprised too the first time I heard about it. But anyway, let's launch Photoshop here. Let's open it up. Then you want to grab the clip you're going to be using for your cinemagraph. So the one that you've just taken outside or wherever with the cool moving thing in your image. So let's go ahead and drag it to Photoshop here, and then Photoshop will automatically open it up And then you will actually be presented with this video timeline, which you've probably never seen before if you've never edited video in Photoshop. So you want to actually zoom out here so then you get a good view of your cinemagraph, I guess. Okay, so now you will have your video, so you can play it back here in Photoshop. For some reason, it's playing at 5 frames per second or something. So then you want to move the playhead to where you want the cinemagraph to actually start. So at the beginning here, we had a bunch of weird smoke going in my face and stuff, which isn't ideal. You want the moving object or moving thing away from you. You don't want it to come in front of you because that will not work as a cinemagraph. So we're gonna go ahead here and choose the best place to start. So I think right about here looks good. So we're gonna go ahead here and trim this right here. Okay, so then we want to actually make the timeline a little bit bigger. And then you also want to choose where your cinemagraph ends here, because I walk towards the camera. I also do some weird stuff and I moved my hand a bit too much. So we're gonna go ahead here and actually, this looks good. Let's trim it here. There we go. And then let's spread out the timeline. And then if you play it back now, as you can see, it looks pretty good. So then what you want to do is you want to go here to layer 1, or whatever your layer is called, and you want to actually copy and paste it. So if you're on a Mac, it will be Command C. If you're on a PC, it'll be Control C, and then you want to paste it, which is on a Mac Command V, and then on a PC it's Control V. And then once you've pasted it, you want to move layer 2 to the bottom here, and then you want to actually trim it to about half or so, and then you want it to end exactly where your cinemagraph main clip ends. Okay, so then you want to move your playhead to the very beginning. You want to make sure you've got nothing selected here, and then you want to press Command, Option, Shift, E. On a PC, it'll be Control, Alt, Shift, E. And then you will actually have this thing be pasted on here, layer 3. And then if we play it back, it's a completely still image now. So we want to trim this to the same length as the other 2 clips. And then let's go back to the beginning here. And then you'll want to go here, make sure you've got layer 3 selected, of course. And you'll want to click on Add Layer Mask. So this little icon down here, and this will create a new layer mask. Make sure you've got that selected, and make sure the foreground is black and the background is white on here. And then you want to go to your toolbar and select the brush tool. Then this is where you have to be super precise and where you need to take your time. The more time you take on being precise with this, the better the finished product will look like. So let's make the brush here a little bit bigger, because you don't want it too small, because if you do, then you'll be here all day. And then you want to go to the part you want moving in your image. So in my case, this is the red smoke. We want to actually use the brush tool here, and without going on the trees too much, we want to go here on the red smoke. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Make sure not to go too close to your hand, so make sure to be super precise. You can actually zoom in as well, which can really help here. And then let's go here, let's be super precise. And there we go. And then we want to play it back here to see how it's actually coming out. It's looking pretty good. It looks a little weird. That's because there's some of the smoke that just disappears behind of the frame. So we want to actually go ahead here and do a little bit more. As you can see, there's some smoke right here that we didn't actually cover. And then we want to go here. If you're shooting in front of trees like I did, make sure not to get the trees too much, because then you'll see the tree moving in the background. So now if we play it back, doesn't look too bad. There are, of course, the trees that are still moving a little bit here, but of course you don't really have to worry about it that much, because people will be focused on the smoke. If you take more time than I just did doing this, you will probably perfect it a lot more. Now, I'm not taking that much time on this because I want to get this video over and done with, and I don't want to make it too long because I'm going to be here forever if I were to be super precise. But then just play it back a few more times and see if you're happy with it. I think it looks good. Also, make sure the end of the clips are all even, because you don't want one going longer than the other or shorter than the other, because it won't look that good. yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So once you're happy with your Cinemagraph and it looks just like you want it to, you want to then go up here into File, you want to go onto Export, and then you want to choose Save for Web Legacy. Okay, so then it'll open up a window here where you want to make sure that you have the file selected as a GIF or GIF, whatever you want to call it. And then underneath here where it says looping options, make sure it's on forever, so then it will just go on an infinite loop and it will look pretty cool. Then you want to click save, and then you want to, of course, give it a name. We're going to call this Red Smoke Cinemagraph, and then we're going to save this to desktop, and then you want to click save. And then once it's been exported, you can airdrop it to your phone or send it to your phone, and then you can post it to Instagram, Facebook, or whatever. And this is a little weird, but when you open it up in preview here, it will actually just show it as a bunch of photos, but just ignore it. It's a GIF. You can view it on your phone. But this is how the finished product looks like. I honestly think it looks pretty good. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And if you make a Cinemagraph, make sure to tag me in it on Instagram or something. I would love to see if you guys made a Cinemagraph and what creative ideas you got from making a Cinemagraph. So guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more of these tutorials, let me know by smashing that like button down below. And of course, if you have any questions about these Cinemagraphs or any questions you want to ask me in general, the comment section down below is always open for business. And of course, if you are new around here and you haven't already, be sure to smash that subscribe button down below. And also, don't forget to ring the bell so then you'll be notified every time I upload a video. You can get to my videos early and you won't miss an upload. Guys, don't forget to cop yourself some of the hottest merch on planet Earth. The link is in the description. Also, don't forget to support me on Patreon and all that stuff. Links are all in the description, as well as all my social medias. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Benj, and I'll catch you guys in the very next video.